Hi, I wanted to take a minute to talk about World War II and religion. This is something that kind of bothers me when speaking of the things that happened during World War II with a Christian. Let me give you a test. Let's see what you answer. What religion was Hitler and all of the Nazis? If you answered Catholic, you're correct. About every Christian you ask, however, will say atheist or something along those lines. I've asked this over and over again, and it's the answer I get almost every time. Not only was Hitler and the Nazis Catholic, but Pope Pius XII, who's also known as Hitler's Pope, backed Hitler with a general, Mussolini, to help with this conquest. Pope Pius XII was for the assassination of the Jews and the Holocaust. He was for Hitler taking over the world and world conquest because this meant that Catholics would rule the world and he would become pretty much the richest man in the world and most powerful man in the world. One of the things I've noticed a lot of people do, and I'll probably get this comment, is they'll take something and say, well, it was only like that for a little while, or that's not completely true because it wasn't always like that. That's not the case. This is kind of a human nature thing. They'll say, well, Hitler started out as being Catholic, but then he became atheist later. He didn't. He started out as Catholic, he continued as Catholic, and when he died he was still Catholic. Mein Kampf was about his Catholic life and about his religion, and it was mentioned many, many times in there. Pope Pius XII was the same way. When he died, he still believed in the Holocaust and believed that it was a good thing for the Catholic Church. You can see this little human nature event if you read the Wikipedia page on Pope Pius XII. There was a book John Cornwell wrote called Hitler's Pope that talked about the history and during this time and how Pope Pius XII supported the Nazi ideas. But if you read the Wikipedia page down towards the bottom, you'll notice someone put in a comment that John Cornwell changed his idea throughout his life and said, oh, well, this wasn't completely true and things like that. But if you look at the very end of the quote, you'll notice a little notation that says citation needed. The reason why there's a citation needed is there's no information to back that up. Go to John Cornwell's site, read up on it. He never mentions recanting any of his ideas, any of the history. The person is just looking for an excuse. There isn't one. This was the history of what happened. Read up on Pope Pius XII. You'll notice the same thing. Whether you like it or not, the Holocaust was a Catholic event. It was the Catholics trying to exterminate the Jews. There were some more underlying reasons for that, but if you were Nazi, you were Catholic. If you were not Catholic, you were killed with the rest of any other religions. Jewish just happened to be the largest one. To say that any of them were atheist doesn't really make any sense. Not only is it false, but it doesn't make sense. Being atheist, we don't care what religion you are. We really don't. All religions to us are equally silly. There's never been an atheist uprising because of religion. It doesn't happen. There's no atheist hiding in robes ready to make sacrifices. That's a religious thing. The Second World War, the Salem witch trials, all of that is religious, and we're not. I hope you've learned something, and if you ever want to get into a discussion about with me, remember it. Remember that this was a Catholic thing. World War II, the Hitler, Nazis, all of that was a Catholic uprising. Thanks.